All right, well, welcome everybody to this week's client support webinar. My name is Bennett McDowell with TradersCoach.com, and today is May 15th. All right, before I jump in, Gene, any announcements?
Oh, well, welcome everyone. That's my major announcement. Great to see you, Dennis and Jim and Lewis and Cleo and Cliff. So good to see everybody here. And one thing, Ben, I just want to mention, I know a lot of folks already join us there. I know, Jim, you do. But Stock Analysis Friday is awesome. And it's every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time on our YouTube channel. And I am going to post a link to our YouTube channel so you can all check it out. So Bennett, back to you.
Okay, that's a good idea. Hey, the other thing I wanted to ask you, Gene, since I've got you in here, is I know we talked about having a live tutorial, 2-day tutorial here in the Tucson area in the fall. And, you know, we have election coming up. Any thoughts on that? I know it's in the planning stages, but just wondering if you had kind of thoughts before election or after, maybe after, I guess.
I think after, because then we'll have lots to talk about. And also too, November, we've done a lot of tutorials in November, and that is a terrific month. Kind of gets you to take care of all your business things and then go into the holidays later and enjoy Thanksgiving, but then you're in Christmas and New Year's and all that good stuff. And then January, you've got the tutorial under your belt and you're ready to hit the ground running for the new year.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe after the election,
But
maybe,
before Thanksgiving.
yeah, right in that time period there. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
guys, out there, if you're interested in that, we have a great time. It's a basically we look at live markets and we cover a lot of the stuff we that you need help with. So it's a great time to join us, and it's also a great time for me to get to meet you. Gene will be there as well, so kind of a lot of fun. So keep that one in mind.
Yeah, one more thing too. I gotta say, over the years, we've been doing them for 25 years. It seems that when people come to a live event, it's almost like the sensory education of just, it really hits home when you're there in person with Bennett and with other like-minded traders. It really, I see a real increase in everyone's performance after the live event. So I've noticed that. That's a real benefit.
I have two, and also two, the enthusiasm increases.
Oh yeah, you kind of gain that momentum. Alexander, he's been with us, so and I think he's doing great. So Alexander just joined us. He's been doing a tutorial before. So I think it's really a great event for everyone at every level. So the new folks kind of get up and running, and the folks who've been, you know, successful in carrying on a great profit level tend to increase that and maintain it. So it's a great event.
Yeah, and Alexander's asking, when's the live event? Probably we're looking at after the election this fall, Alexander, between probably right around there, between
Before
there
Thanksgiving.
and Thanksgiving. So in that time period there. And the nice thing about that time period too is the weather is great. I mean, our weather is super.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
in November, not hot at all. So that's kind of where we would do it. And it would be in Tucson, be south of Tucson. So we'll keep you advised. Gene, I guess you'll send out an email, right, on that?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. All right, so one last thing, Gene, I know you've been in contact with one of our clients, Cliff. Is he here today?
He's on the way. He's at Starbucks as we speak. So we got to have our coffee before we start. So he's going to join in. He wants to learn how to use the trade size calculator and to get up and running on that.
Because I know you mentioned he needed some help on that. Okay, cool. All
Yes.
right, let me take it from here then. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. But great to see all our super students here, and back to you.
Yeah, good. Okay, yeah, good. Good turnout today, guys. All right, so let me go through our usual administrational items here. And of course, every webinar I have to do the risk disclosure. And so therefore, we want you to know that there is inherent risk in trading the financial markets. You really can't escape it. You can try to protect yourself as much as possible, but you can never eliminate it. So therefore, nothing's guaranteed in the markets. We deal, of course, in a realm of probabilities. And when you're talking about, creating your trading system or approach, what you want to do is create a system that gives you an edge. You don't have to be right all the time. Nobody is, but you want to have the win percentages in line with the payoff ratio. And the payoff ratio basically is your average wins versus your average losses. And this is where the famous saying is, keep your losing trades as small as possible, but let your winning trades run. That way, your payoff ratio is also an edge. You're winning more than you're losing. So that's really important. And then the win percentages, if you can, let's say you win twice as great as you lose. Well, if you have a 50% system where you're losing half the time, as long as your payoff ratio is good, above 1-to-1, you'll actually be a net winner when you actually trade enough trades of your sample size. So that's kind of a key important aspect that we can teach you how to help you do that. Also, too, you want to just basically fund your trading account with money you can afford to risk right off the bat. All right, that way you're not stressing out over every single trade. So that's really super important as well. And then finally, anything that you are about to act on, if we look at a stock that looks real good or a futures market or whatever, and you want to jump in, check with your financial advisor first to be sure it's suitable. That type of trade would be suitable for you, because we don't know your personal situation. They certainly should and can make a recommendation to you if that's something that's suitable for you. So that's kind of important as well. All right, again, great turnout here. Fantastic to have everybody here. Just so you know, I love meeting everybody here at the client support webinar each week. It's our chance to kind of schmooze and get to know each other. And if you have any issues, let me know as well. All right, books. There's my books on money management. A little update on my second edition, my brand new book called The Art of Trading. Guess what? Final touches. It's going to the publisher this month. By the end of this month, it's 100% out of my hands. So at that particular point, they'll do a quick turnaround and get it published, get it into your hands. And so you can pre-order that now, and they charge you when the book is released. But a lot of times the pre-order price is better than the once it's released. So you might want to take a look at that. You can get it at Amazon, any major bookstore, but definitely check it out. Now it's going to be about 450 to 500 pages. I put a lot of material in this book, which is why it's taken a while for me to finish it. But it's a great book. I think it's going to be the best book I've ever written. We leave no rock unturned. It's very conclusive, very comprehensive, and will include all about the new software we have produced since our first original book that came out back in 2008. Okay, so a lot of new information in the new book. So very well worth the read. So definitely check that out. And it's being published by Wiley over there in the Northeast. All right, and then finally, in regards to charts, as most of you know, because most of you own our software, we have software for charts, we have software for scanners, and we have software for risk control. And you can buy this a la carte as you need it or can afford it, or you can also buy it as a complete bundle. All right, so that's the end of our TV commercial for today. Now we jump into the meat and potatoes. All right, so once again, just a couple of quick things here. What you're looking at is NinjaTrader. We also have TradeStation up and running as well, so we have both platforms. And notice they're kind of identical. I got the three charts, some cosmetic differences, obviously, but the information is the same. And as you all know by now, because many of you are my veterans, I do multiple time frame analysis, which means I have three charts loaded with our software. Chart on the right is the 60-minute, okay, chart in the middle is the daily, and then I got the weekly. Now, if you're using end of day data, just load the daily and the weekly, okay? You can do that as well. So it depends what kind of data you're getting. When you actually are talking about intraday data, you most likely have a couple different places to go for that. One is your brokerage that you have may of course offer, I'm sure it does, offers intraday data. And then if you're using something like NinjaTrader, you can go in here, all right, into the connections area and go to configure and choose one of the compatible brokers if you are on that list. And they pretty much cover most of them, all right? They have barchart.com, Coinbase for crypto, eSignal, forex.com, FXCM, Interactive Brokers, all right? IQ Feed, Kinetic, which is NinjaTrader's real-time data, NinjaTrader up here, which is where you can put in things like prop firms and things like that data. NinjaTrader Continuum, which is their futures data, all right, and NinjaTrader FXCM, Arithmetic for NinjaTrader brokerage, so they have a brokerage for that one. And now TD Ameritrade. The interesting thing about TD Ameritrade is that we have several clients, of course, that use Thinkorswim. Now, Thinkorswim under the old TD Ameritrade umbrella was TD Ameritrade, and because TD Ameritrade bought out Snoznov's Thinkorswim, and for a measly what, 680 million bucks. But in any case, TD Ameritrade then merged with Schwab recently, and so now you've got TD Ameritrade and Schwab. Now we talked to, or at least we've heard from Ninja, and apparently what's going to happen is, you know, during the merger, they've been changing clients over, from my understanding, in stages. Okay, so you're kind of certain number of clients get turned over one time and then the other and so forth. And so basically, my understanding is the next update of NinjaTrader is going to change TD Ameritrade, I think, to Schwab or some new something representing the merger. All right. Now, if you're currently changed over right now, and they have not yet updated their platform, but the problem is you can't get real-time data yet. I don't think you can get data for stocks in general yet. That hopefully will change when they do the upgrade. Gene, do you have anything else you want to add on that? Because I know you've been kind of involved in that. Let me see if she's still on. She might have stepped away. Okay. But in any case, that's kind of come on the next update. I don't know when the next update's going to be, but that's kind of out there coming. And if anybody has any information, feel free to type that in so I can take a look at what's going on there, okay? So that's the only thing. If you're using TD Ameritrade, I think there's been a little frustration there, and hopefully that will get resolved on the next update of NinjaTrader, okay? But this is where you can access all your data. Now, they also have something called end of day free, which is completely free, and it's nothing, it's actually really good data. It's historical, and you can load your daily and above charts, so daily, weekly, monthly, whatever you want to do that. It will not load intraday charts, but the Kinetic end of day has futures data on it and all sorts of things. So it's pretty comprehensive. It's just end of day. All right. Now you can also pay for Kinetic, which is what I do, and that gives me intraday data for that. And then I have a continuum and so forth. Okay, and Coinbase. So all those things cost money, though. That's the thing. When you're talking about intraday data, it all costs money. Now, the way you can get around that is if, for example, you have a brokerage that's compatible, and let me bring up the connections again, compatible with NinjaTrader. So if you have Interactive Brokers, you know, trade TD Ameritrade, Schwab eventually, or one of these others here, you can actually get your broker's real-time data in, and therefore don't have to pay an additional fee. So that's always a possibility too. And then again, it depends on what kind of trader you are. If you're a position trader, in other words, not a day trader, you could get away with Kinetic end of day data easily. Okay, no worries about that. So totally depends on the individual and what they are wanting to use their platform for. All right. Now on TradeStation, all right, you open up a brokerage account. So you are a brokerage account. And then once you open that and get it funded, you have to get it funded for you to get all the bells and whistles. For example, my understanding is if you don't fund your TradeStation account and you're just they're waiting for it to be funded, they're going to give you the platform while they're waiting for it to be funded, but they're not going to have radar screen on, so you can't use any of the real-time scanners. And after a certain period of time, if you don't fund it, they're just going to cut the platform off. All right. So you have to fund it. And the funding is cheap. I don't think it's much money at all. I don't know what the minimums are, but it's not much. So that's a way for people to go as well if you want that route. So it all depends on what fits your scheme of things and how you want to set it up. All right, so let's keep going here. All right, Frank, how are you? Good to have you back. I assume you're going to be in the day trading room tomorrow, right? We've been hitting the ball off the cover on that thing. We're cranking. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, Terry's saying my last two accounts shifted to Schwab this weekend. Yeah, Jim, I think you're here. That sounds like you. Terry, what did you, how was it? I guess is my question. Okay, how was it? Let us know. And Clifton, good to have you here. All right, so Clifton, my understanding is that you are having a hard time finding the trade size calculator. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. So just hang tight real quick, okay? All right. All right, so now let me see. All right, Terry's saying it was seamless. So Terry, are you getting stocks and everything on there without a problem? No problem. What about simulated accounts? I had heard that if you had a simulated account set up under TD Ameritrade and made a bunch of trades or something, did it wipe that out? I can't remember. I think that's what people were saying. No problem. Never had any sim. Okay. So I think maybe some people with sim accounts were having trouble. Not sure. Okay. But anyway, you're getting data and no problems with the data. And are you connecting to that TD Ameritrade connection in Ninja? Okay, so how do you connect? So let me bring up my connections for a minute again. And let me know how you connected to the Schwab. Did you use the TD Ameritrade or something else? You're using, okay, but are you using Ninja Trader? Oh, okay. Well, that's why you're not having a problem. Okay, the problem is only for those people with Ninja Trader. Okay, that's the only problem. Okay, so obviously you're not going to have a problem with the TOS because that's their platform. Okay, cool. All right, now I understand. All right. Okay, so let's see. Alexander's saying there are glitches, still learning and acclimating to the Schwab system. So Alexander, you use NinjaTrader. Now, are you getting data from Schwab? Have you converted over yet? Don't know. All right, so Cliff, let's focus on you. Now, what I want to do is show you here. Let me see how I want to do this. I think I might want to move this off to the side so you can see this. Now, do you see this thing here? This is called the trade size calculator, okay? This is an application that is independent of the charting platform. So when you open Ninja, for example, you're not going to see this. You have to go and actually open up the trade size calculator application or program. And do you see this here? Look on your desktop and see if you see the little green TC. Let me just wipe this out and put an arrow down to what I want you to look at. So go on your desktop and see if you see that. And then let me know. Okay, good. So Alexander's still getting data good there. Okay, I'm sorry. Did you say you see it? If so, click on it. Double click on it. Open it. Okay, so you do not see it. Okay, now the next thing I want you to do is go into your search window and type in their trade size calculator. Type in trade size calculator. And see if you see it. Let me know if you see it or not. Sometimes the icons can get removed. Also, too, we got to take a look and see what kind of virus software you have. That can sometimes remove things. So go to your scanning in your windows and scan by typing in trade size calculator. And type it in as two separate words, trade size. Should be all you need to type in. And then hit search and let's see if it comes up.
Maybe TSC?
No, for the search, it needs to be trade size. Okay, there should be an executable there. All right, well, you have a tech support session, so we'll take a look at it. I'll have Mark take a look at that when he logs in, okay? And he'll install that for you if it's not already there. See if we can find it. Make sure you're searching under apps, okay? Because you might be searching under internet. That's sometimes they segregate that like that. Okay, your next question is how does the software scan for potential stocks? What filters is used to scan for stocks? All right, so let me ask you a question. First of all, what scanners do you have? That's question number one. Gene, if you know, let me know what he has.
Looking it up now.
Okay. Okay, he doesn't know, so let him.
I'm looking it up.
Yep, just look it up for him. While she's doing that, Clifton, Frank, Frank, also too, I'm doing a test on the prop firm day traders, and I'll let you know what I think of them. They connect easily to Ninja, and then you can make all your trades just like we do in the day trading room. but it's so far pretty easy. I want to
Clifton
narrow. Go ahead.
Cliff has the multiple time frame scanner.
Okay, so you have the multiple time frame scanner, and that is going to be on this far right here. So on the multiple time scanner, what you want to do, I guess let me just think I can say this. So maybe open up a white sheet here. So on your multiple time frame scanner, it loads into the market analyzer, and then we'll create 3 columns. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, so it'll look something like that. Now, one column is called short, I'll just put S. One column is called intermediate, and one column is considered long-term. Now, do you see that on your scanner? Do you have the scanner open? And of course, it should look something like these over here. Okay, I do not. Okay, so when Mark sets you up and set up your scanner, do you know what happened to it? Gene, you might want to mute your mic unless you want to say something.
So sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, so let's do this here. Let's go to new, go to your control panel. Now your control panel, all right, is this thing here that I'm moving around. And basically, all right, you want to go to new and then go down to market analyzer. Market analyzer. Okay, so you got to go there and bring up a market analyzer window and go from there. I think what we'll do is during your tech support today, I'll have Mark load that for you as well. Now, when you close out a Ninja, make sure when you close out, for example, you hit that X and always click yes, because if you don't hit yes, some of the windows may disappear, okay? So that's really important. So one of the biggest problems people have on Ninja, there's also a lot of tutorials on the Ninja website that you can go to for help on how to learn to get around the platform. But one of the biggest problems people have is they go to close Ninja and they think they can just close it by clicking on an X on any window. But if you click on an X, for example, in this window, guess what? I just got rid of my entire chart. It just got deleted. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to instead exit Ninja, right? So you got to go up here and click on the X associated with the control panel. So there are many windows in NinjaTrader. There are chart windows, there are the market analyzer scanner windows, and what I have also is the control panel window. So the control panel window, you always want to exit Ninja through the control panel window. That's really important. What I think you probably did is you clicked on the X for the scanner and deleted it instead of clicking on the X for the control panel. That's probably what happened. We can easily fix that. But you know, you can keep that in mind as well, all right? So, by the way, if you delete a window by accident, don't freak out, okay? Just go to if you have more than one chart open, you can just go to the other chart, right click and put duplicate window. And a duplicate will open, and then all you have to do is change the time frames. So for example, you know, we don't want that, we want that to be a minute. This can be a daily here. And then I want this one to be a daily too. Actually, I want this one to be 15 minutes. All right. So anyway, that was just to give you a little run through there. All right. So, you know, you got to click, you got to understand how to definitely get around the platform, right? Now, in Ninja, if you go to the control panel and you go to help, okay, there's a whole bunch of resources here. There's video guides. For example, if I click here, that brings up a window here. And look at all these videos I have, okay? Video guides, get started, charting, order entry, workspace settings. So I think this Cliff would be a great place for you to go as well. In addition to reading about our software, this will teach you how to basically use the NinjaTrader charting platform. Really helpful. You know, they're videos, so they're kind of fun to watch. They're not too long, but they're really informative, and will teach you the basics of what I'm, you know, basically going over here. And for those using TradeStation, same thing there. You have a TradeStation, great TradeStation tutorials as well. Okay. Now, getting back real quick to the scanner itself. All right. Let me just come back here. So when you have the multiple time frame scanner and it looks something like this loaded, pardon my wonderful drawing abilities here. All right. You have the short term, intermediate, and long term. And then you'll have your symbols over here. Okay. So I'll put SYM for symbols. And, you know, you can have things like applied materials, Apple, you know, all of these things loaded here. Okay. And then basically what the multiple time frame scanner does, MTS, is basically it's looking at each interval. All right. This would be your short term, and it can be whatever you want it to be. Okay. Intermediate and long term. So this could be a 60-minute, this could be a daily, this could be a weekly, or for those using end of day data, you can certainly make this the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Okay. And so the idea is it's going to take a look at each time frames and tell you if it's trending or not. And if so, you want to look at it to see if it's early in the trend or late for a possible trade. Okay. And it's looking at some key components that it analyzes. And so that's the scanner, Cliff, you have. All right. So we'll get that loaded up for you today. All right. But that just gives you a little heads up. And then when they are green or indicating a trend across 3 of those platforms, you got a potential trade. Okay. So it's a great scanner. And of course, yes, and read the manuals too. Now on the scanner, there's actually a video, I think, for that one. So in the download, folder, okay, there is a text file with a bunch of video links. So grab one of those, and then you'll find the multiple time frame scanner that you can review, where we discuss how to use it. Okay. So I think that would help you too. But that's important, is, you know, there's a lot of baby steps involved in getting all this hammered out. Don't forget, I've been doing this for over 30 years. So for me, this stuff is second nature. But for somebody starting out, you know, there's a lot of moving parts, and it can get quite overwhelming and confusing and frustrating. So start out, be patient with yourself, start out small. Okay, go over some of the basics on just how to use the platform in general, and then expand that on how to use our software within that platform, because that's why you're here, right? And then once you understand that, you move on to understanding how the scanners and so forth can help you find setups. And then you keep coming back here if you can every week, and with questions. And as you develop and become proficient, then we move on to a different level and keep going up. It's kind of like, remember in math, remember, did anybody take calculus out there? Good old calculus days. Remember, if you got behind in calculus, you were in big trouble, right? Okay, so same thing with this stuff. If you kind of put the cart before the horse, you kind of it's very easy to get mixed up. So you kind of got to, start at the beginning and take it step by step. And if you miss a step, like in calculus, it can throw you off, right? So keep that in mind. Just start out small, learn the basics on how to get around the platform, how to save it, and how to connect to your data. Okay, that's another thing. When you have a data connection, all right, for example, let's say you don't have real-time data, all right, well, you can use the end of day data, and if you check this little box here, it will connect to the end of day data automatically. So you don't have to do it manually, which is kind of cool. Likewise, if you want to connect to any of your data providers automatically, you just check the connect on startup. All right. Now, what Ninja did suggest to us is when you have more than one data provider, on startup, connect just to one. Let the system boot and boot on one data connection only, and then manually add in the other ones. And how do you manually add in? Well, again, everything's controlled through the control panel. All right, so here's my control panel. I'm going to enlarge the control panel just so you can see what that looks like, okay? All right, so there's the enlarge button and the minimize button. Enlarge, and then go to connections. And then if I wanted to connect to something, I would just go here and hit connect, okay? I could go here and connect end of day free by just highlighting it and left clicking it, okay? So that's kind of cool. But again, NinjaTrader has tutorials on how to do that, right? So kind of cool, right? So be patient and, go slow and get set up here, okay? So on your tech support this afternoon, I'll have Mark install that trade size calculator and also get you set up where he can set you up with the scanner for the end of day data. I think that's probably what you're using, I think. And then from there, then you come back here and I show you how to use all that stuff. Sound good? And then of course, read the manuals too in the meantime. Okay, great. So anyway, Cliff, the main thing is you're not alone here. We're here to help you, okay, and be with you. And that's the whole purpose of these weekly client supports, is to give our clients the help they need as they navigate their way through everything, okay? So don't forget, okay? All right, so we're pretty much done for the day. Is there anybody else that has any questions they might have? I did get one question. Is our software working for the latest NinjaTrader setup? And the answer is yes, okay? You're not gonna have any problems with the latest updates for any of the platforms you're using out there, okay? So whether it's Ninja, TradeStation, you can install the latest update, and our software is completely fine with that, the current version. All right, so I think over the next week or so, I'm going to talk a little bit more about prop trading firms. All right, there seems to be quite a bit of interest about them. There's differences between things like Apex, Top Trader, Trade Day, and all these things. And so I think what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks is take them apart and see the differences. And there's difference in fees. There's differences in the way they evaluate you to get funded. There's differences in how they trail your drawdowns. And so you need to be aware of that to choose the right one. There's some with free trials, there's some with no trials, okay? And there's some more expensive than others. So you gotta figure out which one is the right one for you. And that's the kind of thing we'll start to go over. But it's a great you know, they make money. There's no question about it. They make their money through fees, and they make their money through commissions and things of that nature. Okay, so it's not a free service by any chance. You also have to pass the evaluation period to get funded, meaning you have to have some type of success over a period of time where they're testing you to see what kind of trader you are. All right, so you have to do enough trades in that testing period for them to get enough of a statistical mean for you to see if you're ready to go live. But the interesting thing is about them is that if you're successful in it, then you could subscribe with a, you know, $100, $150, $200,000 account, funded account through them. And they're kind of not really funded, but you know what I'm saying. We'll cover that too. But in terms of pulling money out, it would be the same as if you were trading with their funded amount. But the idea behind that is that if you're successful, then that would be a nice way to trade, make money, and not have to put up your money for it. And so for people that, you know, don't have a $200,000 excess amount laying around for a trading account, this is a perfectly good alternative, but it's not free. There are fees involved that you have to experience. So for some people, it may make sense. For other people, it may not. And so you're going to have to make that decision on your own, but it is a possibility. Okay, so I'm going to check it out because I get asked a lot about it, and I'm going to try different ones and see which ones. But also, too, there's some that are better for different styles of trading. For example, Apex is more geared for people that scalp versus people that kind of pick target zones like I do, where you have fib target zones, but you have to let the trade unwind sometimes to reach it, because sometimes their drawdown is based on the high of the trade that you take versus the close. So it matters because they can stop you out in the middle of a trade, even though the trade has not been officially stopped out with your stop. So there's different things you have to take into consideration when picking these firms based on your style of trading, okay? All right, let's see what else we got cooking here. John, hey John, okay, I just joined in. I don't know you were notified about the latest Apex sale, okay. John's a pro Apexer. He likes Apex for his style of trading. You can get a $250,000 account for $17 a month. Initially 17 and then 35 reoccurring. Thank you, John. Good information. So Apex seems to be one of the cheaper monthly costs going on out there. Again, it depends on your style if that one's going to work for you. Okay, but others are more expensive. And then it includes also whether you can take out, for example, on Apex, I think, John, you can only take the money out twice a month, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. There's a little bit more restrictions with Apex. I know with Trade Day, you can take the money out whenever you want, okay, which is kind of cool. A lot of people like that. But it's more money per month. So, you know, there's trade-offs on all this stuff. So you got to kind of figure out what works best for you, okay? And John's saying you can get 6,500 drawdown with the 250K account, which is big. That might be more in line with your, oh, that's good to know, yes. So one of the things John's bringing up here, thank you, John, for coming today. One of the things he's bringing up here with the Apex is that if you trade kind of like I do, where you put on a trade and your stop is set at a certain level below the trade, and the risk control is in line, but sometimes if I'm dealing with a large account, you know, then I need to have enough of a leeway in my trade for me to be able to get to that profitable target. In other words, you're not stopped out. If you're not stopped out, the trade is still viable. So I don't want a prop firm to take me out of the trade just because I don't fit their risk control guidelines. And with a $6,500 drawdown, that would be okay for me because I never have that much without getting stopped out. At least I don't think I would even on that size of an account. So good. Okay. So we're going to take all these things into account, and it'll be a kind of a fun analysis. I love it when people join us and give us information. Now, John's had an Apex account. I know John from our day trading room. And so this is great information. Awesome. All right, let's see anything else here. Are people generally interested in that? How many people are interested in prop firms or have even tried them? Even if you've had a bad experience, let me know, okay? Go ahead and type that in the questions. All right, Cliff is interested. Yeah, Cliff, it's pretty cool. Now, Cliff, if you decide to do that, you get intraday data on the futures market. So that's kind of a cool thing. Now, one thing I was talking to John about is that there is no free trial on the Apex, if I remember correctly. You know, things change. Maybe they offer one, maybe they don't now, but I don't think they do. But because it's so inexpensive, it really doesn't matter. So he's saying it's $17 initially and $34 reoccurring. Well, if I try it a month for 17 bucks, as long as there's no minimum number of months I have to take it, I mean, that's like a trial, for God's sakes, okay? So it really doesn't matter, right? Very interesting. Okay, so you have that until you pass. Okay, great. He's saying when you get evaluated. Well, that's cheap, all right? So in other words, let's say you had a hard time getting evaluated and you went a few months. I get the $17 for the first month, John, and then 34 after that, or is it $17? Okay, so it would be 17 for the first month, and then what about 50, close to 50, a little over 50 for each month after. That's a lot, yeah, 30. Okay, so then it's 34, not 17 plus. All right, so then it's 34 a month. So what about exchange fees? You remember that? I think that includes exchange fees, right? Okay, so exchange fee, that's really good. And then because I think on the Trade Pro, you have to pay exchange fees. And let's see what else. What about, what's the, oh, commissions. Commissions are pretty standard. What, do you know the commission per contract on the MES? All right, now Alexander, okay, hold on, I'll ask that. All right, 398 for the E-mini, and what, probably half that for the 102 for the micro. Okay, that's pretty good actually for the micro. Okay, because I think Trade Pro is about 154, not sure, but somewhere around there. All right, one question on John for you, since you've done this. With Apex, do you need to trade 10 consecutive days to get paid? John, I think you're saying yes, right? I got so many, hold on a second. Give me 1 second, okay? I got so many chats going on here. Okay, that's included. Not consecutive though. Okay, so John's saying, yes, you need to trade 10 days, but not consecutive. So that is something to consider, okay? So in other words, let's say, if you're doing this full time for a living, so to speak, I don't think that would be a problem. Okay, but if you're kind of dabbling in and out, then you're gonna have to wait in order to take money out of the account. Correct me if I'm wrong, John. Take money out of the account, you have to have some type of 10 trading days. They don't have to be consecutive in a row, but not consecutive, before you could get money out of it, I guess. I think that's right. Now that's different than Trade Pro. They'll let you take money out at any time. But these fees are substantially less expensive than Trade Pro, substantially. I think for a $250,000 account with Trade Pro, I'd have to look and see, but I think you're talking like $300 or $400 a month in fees. So that's a big difference. All right, John says taking money out at set period seems so minor. I agree. If you're really doing this, then that's not going to be an issue because you're going to be always trading. And so you just have to wait 10 days. Let's say you go on vacation for a week, so you have to wait 17 days. Okay. Think of it like getting a paycheck from a job. They don't pay you every day or every week. They usually pay you twice a month, right? Same type of thing. All right. Anyway, great info. John, so glad you came. Good. Thank you so much for that info. All right. So let's take this up next week, okay? And see how it goes. And again, I think it could be a good avenue for some, and kind of a fun thing to do. And for my, so far I've connected Trade Pro into my Ninja Trader, and it's flawless. So it's just point and click, just like you would in a simulated account in Ninja Trader. So it, connects very, very well. I think I'll sign up for Apex this week too, and take a trial simultaneously with that, or just start doing it simultaneously. Especially if it's down to $17 for a $250,000 account. That's fantastic. That deal runs through Monday. Okay, good to know. Good to know. All right, great. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming. Great turnout today. Cliff, please try to come every week, okay? Because you're kind of new, you're starting out. And so bring your questions here because you'll have them. And, that's my job, is to answer your questions and guide you through the process. Alexander, thank you as well. You're very loyal. You always come. Really appreciate that. Thank you for your information. John, same to you, everybody here. Eleanor, good to see you here too as well. Eleanor comes to our stock analysis Friday a lot. Good to see you as well. Jim, you're here all the time too. Good to have you here as well. All right, well, everybody, we'll see you next week. If you want to look at the recording, don't forget, the recordings are recorded. The sessions are recorded, but they're put in our YouTube area, but they're hidden, okay? I don't publish these publicly in YouTube. I put them as unlisted videos. So you need to have access to those. And you gain access by logging in to our VIP portal. That's that portal where you use your username and password. That's where all your home study courses are, subscriptions are located, and the forum is located. So you go in there, and then you right there look for client support videos recorded. And there's a link in there that will take you to our area in YouTube where you can see all the client support videos, okay? Okay, cool. Cool, excellent. All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. I'll go ahead and end here, and we'll see you back here next week. Have a great week.